Now then, families from America have joined villagers in Suffolk to honour the crew of a World War II bomber which crashed near Woodbridge 75 years ago.
The plane got into trouble when one of its engines caught fire shortly after takeoff back in 1945. With deadly bombs on board, they chose to land in the River Deben to avoid nearby houses. Just 2 of the 10 crew members survived. Charlie Frost reports.
A brass band beckoning villagers to the edge of the River Deben. Today, the community embracing its American visitors. All of them here to honour an aircrew who chose to risk their lives to save others. American Air Force bombers, they were assigned to Debridge Air Base during World War II. On the 20th of February 1945, the 10 men were on board their B17 bomber, heading for Germany. Just 6 minutes after the Flying Fortress took off, one of its engines set alight, the flames travelling down the wings. The crew knew they had full fuel tanks and a full load of bombs on board. They had to think quickly to avoid impacting the villages below and decided to land the 568 here at Ramsholt Quay. The plane immediately sank, just the fin tail remaining visible. Only the pilot, Frederick Stint, who swam to safety, and flight engineer Jewel Haynes, who was rescued, survived. Ramsholt Harbour Master George was 15 at the time.
Well, I remember coming down when we finished work, coming in the evening, and you could just see the tail of the plane sticking out of the water.
By his side today, honouring the men, the families of the 2 survivors.
There's so many people here, and I'm so appreciative of it. It's just really heartwarming to know, that people still remember.
He didn't really talk about it until he got into his 80s. Never felt like he did anything special. He was just happy that he survived, and of course he always felt bad that he lost 8 men that day.
Neither men spoke much of the trauma they went through at Ramsholt, but today their families have been able to come together thanks to research done by the nephew of one of the men who saved flight engineer Haynes from the water.
None of the families really knew what had happened to the crew, so I've managed to sort of trace 8 of the 10 families. I mean, it's the son and the daughter of the 2 members that were saved. It's just to be here today is just really amazing, really. It's quite emotional, really, for me.
Today, a moment to remember the 8 airmen who sacrificed themselves for our freedom on this 75th anniversary. Charlie Frost, ITV News.
Good to see so many people there. Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Let's see what's coming up on the rest of this evening's programme.